Is anybody here with your family, like your sister or your brother? Is anybody here with your best friend? Is anybody here with a team more than like 20? Make some noise right now!
Yo, yo, what is up? Happy Wednesday. We're gonna dive into some charts in a minute. Just gonna get things started. We got a song with from Skrillex and Porter Robinson. It's called Still Here, with the ones that I came with. So, but I have a really actually cool dub techno album to play by YAGY. I don't even know how you pronounce that. So I'll get that queued up. Alright. Cool. Should be good. Let's dive into the charts. So, I want to start tonight looking at Dixie. I think Dixie is kind of in an interesting spot, high time frame wise, or this is relatively high time frame for me, 1 hour. And then I also want to look at daily, just to see the higher time frame trend. But this looks to me like a very clean market maker sell model. You have original kind of consolidation here. You have like kind of these trip lows. So what I was looking at today in Chroma was looking for this to get pushed back up into, which we did. You didn't raid the high, but maybe we get another push up again. However, ultimately from here, I'd just like to see it come down. Yo, it's good, fellas. So likely want to see this low get broken, maybe come back up, retest the breaker, and then head back down. Yeah, no, I think they're pretty great too. I got a new mug for tonight. It's a Krabby Patty mug for any SpongeBob fans. But back to the charts. Ultimately, what I would like to see is this kind of to continue on down tomorrow. Let me quick check. I was meant to look beforehand, but I was kind of getting things set up and I forgot. I'm just seeing if there's news anymore this week. All right, so tomorrow has some like Euro news and like unemployment claims, which is like an orange folder for like 8:30, and then there's ISM. There's like the PMI on Friday at 10. So, I mean, Friday will probably get more action in my opinion. Maybe it's a little bit slower tomorrow, but ultimately I think this is where Dixie's going to be heading. So I would be looking to position long probably the rest of the week, as long as this kind of holds true. However, looking at this on a larger scale, I ultimately think this is like a retest of here, or scenario. There's like two scenarios I can see this happening at, because I have this higher, it's like fractal of a market maker sell model, but on much higher time frame. With this also being in confluence with the PCZ of a massive bearish bat harmonic that we were looking at on Sunday in Wish Chat. So there's like a lot of confluence for me with this heading back down eventually in the coming months. Ultimately though, what I think is either going to happen here is you're going to come back down and we're just going to end up going towards this sooner, and risk on assets are going to like rally hard. Like Bitcoin's probably going to rip for quite some time until we get there, or we get more of like a slow bleed out for a while. We come back up. There's I think there's almost like a monthly supply, or at least like I think that FEG I had was a weekly, but but there's a monthly enough supply, fair value gap, like an imbalance. So I think that's ultimately going to need to get mitigated if it is going to go back up again. So this will be interesting. I definitely think sell side liquidity is going to get taken sooner than later. Yo, Alito, what's up? And then from there, I think that'll kind of be a key level for me. This like 103.78 I think is about. And this is just an old high from 2017. Yeah. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at, a high time frame. But yeah, scalps, longs, I think on like anything against the US dollar, or if you trade like Forex, like shorting USD to Canadian dollar or Japanese, might be a good play just with how this is looking. But yeah, so that's like Dixie. That's kind of where I'm at on the grand scheme of things, and how I'll be playing it the next couple of months, or at least the next month or two, like as this kind of formulates which way it wants to head out. But let's head on over to everyone's favorite, BTC. So one thing I was looking at, and I think it was on the 4 hour, is this range. We kind of deviated both sides. Then I was almost treating this as kind of like a market maker sell model in a way, like original consolidation, your SMR, but there was no real like accumulation before that. Like I mean, I guess maybe you could argue here, but I really would have want to see something more major. But the thing that I'm cautious about is like, and I'm kind of waiting for, again, Dixie to kind of decide once it comes down to that sell side liquidity, what it wants to do, if it keeps going or if it bounces. I think another area of interest, because this 4 hour fair value gap's not holding, like we pushed up, we filled it, like we tried to sell off again on the next 12-hour candle, unable to do so. So my inclination, and like again going with my bias with Dixie, like BTC is gonna pop. Like I think the BPR would be like a good target, which is 24.2. I've seen some people mention that on Twitter, because yeah, there's a fair value gap, but it's also like you have this right here, which for me is a better reason for it to be a target. You could also then argue maybe shorting it as a 3 tap. So there's a lot of, I'd be shocked if BTC didn't at least retest the fair value gap in the least, but probably that high would be where you could look to even target. From there, again, like depends really what Dixie is gonna do, and that's kind of how I'm like starting to focus my trading, is forming like a bias around Dixie, and then from there looking at other assets, crypto, whatever, and charting it with that in mind, but also seeing where it would be irrelevant. But yeah, BTC I think ultimately looks good for a short-term push up. We're getting a close in about 9 minutes. The daily is closing with a 2.23% gain. We are engulfing, so that's good. Word. I'm glad to hear that, Zach. I've heard that from other people too, so. But yeah, this looks strong. I wouldn't be surprised to see another push higher here, but we'll see what the PEA gives. Ultimately, like close above here, then we can start talking higher time frame. But yeah, ultimately bullish on BTC. I'm sure ETH. Again, we have these, I don't even know what time frame that is. Oh, daily, like balanced price range, basically. Or was it on 12 hour? No. That one's a weekly one, and then the other one's like a daily, but never had a close below. Pretty much held the EQ of it relatively well. So ultimately, yeah, I want to see continuation. I think I'd be shocked not to see it go to buy side liquidity at this point, but you never know. It could leave relatively equal highs and then roll over. Depends on how it is, if it's stronger compared to BTC. I still have like my high time frame bias on these, where I think if we are going to get that kind of sell off on Dixie and we go straight for that sell side liquidity, I think this is without a doubt gonna happen. Maybe not the maybe we get to the 786 and it reacts without going to the full 886, but like I feel like, I don't know, if Dixie's gonna fall a considerable amount, this is probably gonna push up a considerable amount. So yeah, that's ETH. Same sort of bias. I'm sure most alts are in the same format. We'll take a look at Algo. And ultimately what I want to see on this is go up to 2.289. It's literally, I mentioned this the past few streams, like it's just range bound, and we watched it come up and then range, and it's going to be range bound until it isn't. So longs are definitely in favor here. The only thing that's concerning is if BTC does drop, you have all the sell side liquidity here, an imbalance that's still not fully mitigated, so, or not even to the EQ. So it is a little, and I don't like how it pushed off that fair value gap. So I would want some nice clean bullish PA, maybe some confirmation back above here. But yeah, range bound otherwise, unless BTC starts dropping. APT, I was looking at, I think, a couple scenarios last time. Ultimately, we were looking at going up, reclaiming this like imbalance, and then taking the supply, turning into a breaker, and potentially rallying with your draws of liquidity. Didn't happen. Fell over, couldn't get back above the 1618 from the ultimate low to high, and from there we took out these lows, and yeah, finally took out those equal lows. So at this point, I'm just gonna take this off and clean this up a little bit. Hold on. Because for me, this is the level you want to stay back above, 1330. That is where you had the first daily candle close. What day was that? Sunday, January 22nd. And ever since it's held above there, it's been fine. But if we get rejected here on the daily and don't get the close above here, it's not great. Aw, thanks, False. Appreciate it. But yeah. Otherwise, we also have an imbalance below that I think would be a pretty big draw on liquidity if BTC does go back down. But you are building up like your trend line liquidity for retail traders. But ultimately, yeah, those equal highs like more than likely gonna get taken. Yo, Tony, what's up? So yeah, we'll see. We got 4 minutes. I'll quick run back through some of these when we do get the close, but we'll keep on going for now. If people have requests, you can drop them in chat. I'll probably get to them a little bit later on after I run through the core stuff. So ASTR was one that Victor loves, or I think he had a bag of, and we were looking at it originally back in like here, and I'm sure he made out like a bandit. The mug, yeah. It's a Krabby Patty mug. So, yeah. Ultimately with this, forming your meme cup and handle, it's definitely could go do another leg. It's an absolute S coin though. Daily market structure, I guess the low, I'd wouldn't want to see broken is here, but it could definitely come back a bit more. Nothing really crazy in my opinion. LDO, I have it on the watch list. It's about 5 more down, so we will get to that in a little bit. I just do it like alphabetically, honestly. Makes it easy. LR to premium FEG. Let's see. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not, unless you were talking about like the highs here. Like, I guess like the here, your low resistance. But I'm sure you did sweep some of these highs. So like, I think that's what you mean though. But we'll keep on going. Adam was a beast. Oh, APT. Yes. Gotcha. My bad. Yeah, Adam, clean, Gartley. We came up. We are at that first like key resistance level that we kind of had this high from here. And I think if you get an opportunity, I might look to build a swing position here of some spot if we come back down and put in maybe like another confirmation low before just really going for the higher profits, because you ultimately want to take CNA as like your TP. So I think if this comes back down anywhere between like 10 to like 880 with like your stop loss probably for me being below 780, like something like I can quick size it up. So ultimately, like if I were to take some sort of long-term spot swing position, probably like I would look to average in somewhere between 10 and 8, so maybe like 9, whatever. And then ultimately I would be holding this at least for the 618 retrace. I mean, is there more I guess the 618 would be good confluence with this support resistance level around $30. But ultimately I would be holding for these equal highs, I think, as the first big one, and then probably 69 for the 1618 as the meme. And like from there, if you're holding this and you just forget about it for like the next bull cycle, I'm not saying it's definitely going to do this, but given its history with harmonics in the past, like something of this scale I would hope would produce like something bigger if this is going to stay in the game. So this is like one of the few altcoins I'm actually interested in like swinging a spot bag of. Otherwise, like I'm just DCAing BTC and ETH. But yeah, it looks nice. BNB, another one, kind of scuffed in terms of it, but it is still basically like a shark. It just got front ran. I don't really like this PA though. Like it's not really doing much. You have equal lows. My guess that would be your draw of liquidity. Probably just gonna like slowly go down and then like a big candle, come back down here, maybe bounce around, then go again. So 255 I think is like your level to watch and see what happens. Doge, and then we do have a LDO after, so we will get to that in a minute. Market maker sell model. Oh, I could see that. Your original consolidation. Yeah, this would be like probably your accumulation, smart money reversal. I guess this would be your distribution 1, maybe distribution like 2, and you know, I could see it. It's like, I mean, it's good to have an idea for both scenarios. I feel like we're getting to a very pivotal point in the next like couple weeks in terms of like more high time frame moves. But I do see that point, Baxter. But it is kind of just like not really doing much. Like we could just poof. So again, we'll let the charts play out. No need to like force anything. But Doge is looks pretty much the same. Honestly, it looks kind of like BNB, but different like shape, but the price action lately is like DMB or BNB, not DMB. I'm thinking music. Yeah, I agree. Yo, Victor, what's good? We were just talking about you before. We were looking at ASTR. All right, LDO. I don't know what I was doing with this. All right. Well. I gotta like fast forward through this because the vocals are kind of like throwing me off while I'm trying to like talk. Hold on. I think I slept through this one on the train this morning. There we go. All right. So yeah, we are above the 1618. We are. It looks great to me, to be honest. Like, I see no reason. You're still holding bullish structure. I guess like ultimately for me, like my 2 points of interest for continuation would be probably that low, because we did take the liquidity from like this low, and then this daily imbalance here. It's kind of small, and we did react from it, but I would either want to see this hold, or I would be looking to get in on confirmation here with like invalidation below like 219. Targets, I think you'd have these relatively equal highs. I would probably go for the first one just to be like safe in case like it did that and like rolled over. But then otherwise I would be looking for the 2620 as like a higher time frame one. Maybe if this thing really scams, you have these other two targets. But I think this would be more than enough with tight invalidation below the fair value gap. Down to 21K. Nah, I don't think anytime soon, unless Dixie starts ripping. But let's look at Chainlink. This thing is just forever going to be in a range, and not much we can do about that. Let's just turn down the music a little bit. It was a little loud, at least on my end. But Link's probably like the most boring crypto to me. Whenever we look at it on the high time frame, it's been in this range for, what is it? Almost a year, where it's been between 960 or not, yeah, 970 and 550. That's so sad. Oh man, yo, Modestim, what's up? We also have Matic. Matic actually looks pretty good, not gonna lie. It's holding well. You have your, oh, I wish Chaps was here. Chaps loves this unicorn setup. I don't know if there's maybe something on 3-day. Yeah, there is technically, I guess. Yeah, this like big one here. The only thing is now we're below that imbalance. So I think for me, like Matic, if I'm looking to play this as a long, I want to see a daily close back above here, and then maybe even a flip of the 382 fib on the high time frame, because that's just like a retrace from there. So I'd probably want to see that flipped and turn into support, and from there you can play with really clean invalidation of that level, and I would be targeting the $1.62 area for pretty good increase. I have my microphone like covering the toolbar. It should be, what is it, 21%? Yeah, like that's not bad. Yeah, it's good to see you too. Near and Soul are kind of like doing the same thing. I know they always have that same harmonic. At this point, we're kind of just ranging. Not really very decisive the one way or the other. Haven't really. You've just been rating highs and consolidating. So I would expect expansion sooner than later. And from there, we can look to play whichever side markets want to trend. I will agree. Like, if we're talking like macro wise, yeah, this looks pretty cooked. But I'm not saying it can't come back up here and then range for a couple months. Because ultimately, dude, in my opinion, like, these are pockets that will be filled. Maybe not this one, but I would expect this to get tapped into at some point down the line. So it does show potential, but the days of $20, unless like next bull cycle, it still does really well. I don't know. Like, I remember it was very hype at one point when I was trading it. Yeah. Well, that not necessarily. I've seen plenty of charts where like the next cycle they don't take out the previous highs. So it depends. But you would hope as like the market grows, it would become more open in that regards. Soul was one we actually talked about in the townhouse this weekend that I absolutely loved. It's this butterfly, the same one we just looked at on Near. I just think contextually it's a little bit better. Soul to me holds more merit than Near. I do kind of like the like ranginess of this and what it looks like we're like setting up to do. And I think like you could have the potential for going like pretty high on this. You have a major imbalance here. Kind of this like old area where it was like an old high where I just could see it getting retested as like resistance again. Like, this is like months or weeks, however far down the line. But what I really like ultimately here is we're doing like a nice clean range, but then we have like this monthly like balanced price range. And it's nice because we just had the new month start. So what I think would be excellent is if we just slowly kind of made our way down, maybe broke out, took down people's stops here, fake out the first people that long, yo, Nora, what's good? And then take those people out, go back up, reclaim the range, and then ultimately markets bull cycle or mini bull run inside the mega year-long recession. I don't know. We'll see what the macro gives, but I do think this looks great. Until if you lose this like $15, you lose that level, like, I think it's cooked. But otherwise, I think this is like a great potential alt to look to swing as well. But again, I would want confirmation. I'd probably be looking to enter around there, with probably like tight invalidation. Yeah, I don't know exactly where, but I'd definitely be going for the equal highs. That would probably be my main objective for this, because there's not really much reason for me to take profit at the first level besides like just the harmonic aspect of it. Here you have the equal highs and there's your buy side liquidity, but I don't think it makes sense to really like this is the main draw in my opinion. But yeah, looks great. Sushi, not so great. I mean, I'd say even Link arguably looks better right now. I don't know. Link's a little more like ascending upwards. Sushi's kind of consolidating. I did want to go back to APT to see if we got that close above, since we did get the new day, and we did. Look at that. So right now, in my opinion, like, this is a great spot with very low invalidation if you were to like look to long it. I'm not going to take it because I don't really trade crypto, but we will do it for the stream. see what happens next week when we come back. Let's see. Look at that. 2R. Right there. You're just playing like your local low, basically. If you wanted, you could probably play it even tighter. The only thing is I don't know if it might come back down and fill in the day and then reclaim it and then go up. But not actually taking this solely just for seeing if bias is or idea would be right in terms of if you were to long the support. But yeah, we are going to head over to some Forex for a minute. And then we'll take a look at the indices. You read that solo analysis? Yeah. So, oh no, you missed in the beginning. We started with a Dixie. We'll take a look at it again, though I think it might be frozen right now until 7:45, I think. Op. Yeah, I'll look at Op. ABT, 2 alts that look similar. PHP on the 4 hour. Oh, mana. Okay, so yeah, I'll look at Op and then we'll look at mana. Alright, Op. I don't know what this was. This is like way back when. Didn't quite get what I was hoping or thought I would, but you did eventually get there, so. Oh, wow. Like, what does this thing do? Prime M1? Oh, false. We will look at that after. Looking at this, the mana. I mean, the thing I am not... I mean, it's really just consolidating. You don't really... I don't have a clear bias either way at the moment. You took the highs. You took the buy-side liquidity. You have, like, relatively equal lows here. Kind of, like, low resistance highs. Like, nothing really on the daily. 4 hour. Technically, it's bearish. I could see us maybe coming up, and then I think it's going to come back down. You are pretty extended. Like, I wouldn't... But I don't know. Like, if BTC... Alright, hear me out. Like, if BTC is bullish, Dixie's going to nuke. Kind of like where I'm thinking. Like, I'm pretty bullish on this because, like, structurally, like, this looks like it's like your ascending triangle. Like, oh... And then it just rips. So, I think... I'd be paying attention more so to BTC and Dixie to see what they're doing. And then if, like, all is well, long this, because this, in my opinion, will, like, pop a lot quicker than BTC would. It's up already 0.4% on the day, and BTC's up 0.04. 4/10 or 4/100 would be BTC. 4/10 is op. I'm a math teacher. Jeez, I should know that. But yeah, this, in my opinion, if we're looking like low time frame, you might even have some sort of like harmonic here. That's what it looks like. Use the cipher tool. Yeah, I would probably, because that's like right about your 88.6, and then that would be your confirmation low. You didn't take out X, and from there it ran. First TP. Yeah, probably be looking... I mean, you just take the highs here, which is good. But I guess you could look for higher. The play I would be looking for, if like I'm looking to play op, is like wait for something like that and get in where this turns into like your support. With like, obviously you'd want like some low time frame confirmation. Quick look at mana. Yeah. That was one of the trades I lost when I was doing my challenge account. I think I'm gonna do probably like a funded challenge where I just do like a funded account for like FTMO, like stack my current one, or do like another prop firm. I've heard really good stuff about crypto trader fund, something CFT or CTF. So I'm interested to give that a try. Man, I mean, like, low time frame, I don't know. I could totally see this just barding down. I could also maybe see it kind of being like a PO3 almost. I don't know. Like, I definitely think high time frame, like if we're talking like weeks and weeks, like I think you have a lot of room that it could go. But right now there's a lot of liquidity below, and you keep just like it literally does look like that. Baxter, I think that's a great way to explain it. Yeah, the only thing is though, it hasn't done it yet. But we could get something like that where it just keeps going and then frips down. But I think, again, like if crypto pumps, which I think, again, the rest of the week, as I started in the beginning, like my bias is longs on risk on assets as long as Dixie does what it's likely going to do. Let me go to Dixie again. We'll just quick take a look. 1 hour was where we were looking at before. So I shared this first thing in the morning in Chroma. I like to typically do my analysis just like when I get into work right away. And then I try to look for trades when I have time. But ultimately we are kind of following suit for now in terms of like continuing with this bias. I would like to see this low get taken or at least swept, because then maybe on like low time frame you break it. And then it's just a sweep on H1. And then from there, probably retest it here. And then tomorrow, look for shorts. Or longs, sorry. I think, or London may even give some good plays, but fulfill on daily. I'm personally bullish, but let's see. Hold on. Oh, are you talking about the fair value gap here? Hold on. Yeah, well, there was tiny volume imbalance, fair value gap. The only thing is you do still technically have the one lower. I could see it. There's nothing on but the thing is there's nothing on 12 hour above, or I would even say like 4 hours pretty tight too. You already took it from here. So I could see what you're saying. FF is full fill. Like fully filled. So like all these fully orange ones are fully filled. The EQ on this would be like up here, but the one I was looking at was on H1, which is pretty much fully filled. So from like, and the thing is though, I wouldn't probably want it to see it come back up again because it's a breaker, and we did close this bearish engulfing, so pretty bearish like on this. I think this definitely has the potential to give some assets the room to run. Let's quick look at indices. Or actually no, I want to look at Forex first because I did catch a nice play, and I was also looking at this high time frame. I think it's like a potential shark. What was the play though today? It was, I think it was down here. It was in the morning. Yeah, it's right here. We had a M5 fulfill. So when I saw Dixie was pumping and then hit that fair value gap inside the breaker that we're we were looking at before. Hold on. I'll just go back to EU. Yeah. But yeah, no. And then where'd it go? Here it is. I played the unicorn kind of setup, and ultimately it came really, really close. Stop loss, just kind of let it do its thing. I had fixed 3R, so I got out here. If I went for buy side liquidity or the equal highs, which it never got, it did take this high, but it never got these. So But had I gone for this, it probably would have been like 8-10R. But I like, for me, like at this point, like I just like 2 to 3R plays. Sometimes I'll do like a 4 to 5, but like it's not worth the, like, I'd rather just book the profit and chill. Pound. Oh wait, I wanted to look at this on high time frame. Pound. 2 to 3R best R. I would agree. Three feels like a treat. Like you get 3, you're like, dang, like that was good. 2 is like the bait, like the regular, and then like 1.5. Like I don't like doing 1.5, but I know people do it, and they have like excellent results. So. But yeah, Euro, I was ultimately expecting this to continue down a bit further, but again, like, as Dixie's falling, this thing's gonna pop. So, I'm gonna kind of scratch. I'll leave the harmonic and stuff for now. But we did kind of bounce off this balanced price range, and bunch of highs here. So I think Euro could get some great long setups tomorrow, with a lot of different oh my gosh, I'm not gonna like trade tonight, but you have your, like, there's so many highs here that I could just like get, but like something like that I'd probably do. All right, you have your, how could you play this? I mean, realistically, I'm not gonna, or what does M2 give? I'm not taking this, but I'm trying to like explain like how I would mark it up, like if I were to look for something like this to take. So I gotta look at the structure. Okay, this was like your initial low. You rated all those lows. I'd probably want that to be like my invalidation. And I'd probably want to see lower. Yeah, something like that. That would want to be my entry, because I would play this kind of breaker here. I'd play this little fair value gap here. So yeah, and then like the whole idea with it is, this is like ultimate. You could probably play this a little bit tighter. Let me see if there's like an imbalance directly on. See, M3 gives a cleaner picture, at least for this. So I'm gonna change this a little bit in terms of what I would do. And we'll play it for just a fixed 2R. Or actually, no, this would give you a 3R, and this is even, this would take out like those equal highs. So again, not personally taking it, but it feels almost like obvious. All right, that would have gotten your fill, I think. Or no, very close. I don't trade Asia really, or I haven't in a while, so like I'm not really comfortable trading it right now. Here, and I'll even just do it for the 3R. Whoops. Yeah, finally got your fill. Cool. So, I mean, this is a bit like, enthusiastic, I will say, because this could very well just nuke, and I could be like jinxing it. But we'll take a look at some of the other assets and come back to this. But I think this looks like a excellent play. Yo, Josh, what's up? We're looking at live setups that not taking, but how I would paper this had this been like during New York session or something. So we're just looking at EU. But yeah, we didn't get a chance to look at pound before. I was actually looking at pound earlier this morning. Unfortunately, right, like when I was teaching before I took that Europlay. But with this, like, it was very clean. Like, you could have your original like consolidation, your accumulation, your smart money reversal. This, I mean, like, this part is kind of a little botched. Who was it? It wasn't Victor. It was VLK, or I forget. VLX, I think, is a VLX season. I don't know. He's like 16 or whatever. He posted a GU short that was like absolutely mental, I thought. He had, I think he caught like a 5.4R trade. Like his entry was like here, this fair value gap, and he shorted all the way to the equal lows. It was beautiful. Such a clean play. But yeah, ultimately, again, I'm still pretty bullish on this. What I wanted to see earlier, whoops, where is it? All right, the lows got taken, so not necessary. But ultimately, for a while, we were in this like balanced price range, and you're finally like getting out of that. So again, if Dixie ends up dropping quite a bit, I think you have a good R to R to look for longs on this. You have relatively equal highs right here in the lower EQ of the range. I need to skip this. Hold on. There we go. So I would be looking for those as first target. You flip this supply, it turns into a breaker or something. You could look for longs towards range highs. And I think ultimately the monthly imbalance above is still a big draw, especially if this does continue upwards. But we shall have to see. It's pretty rangy in my opinion, and it's consolidating even more so here. Let's head over to the indices market in a minute. Let me just see. I'll set an alert. Might not even need to, but yeah. All right. So something I'd looked at, well, something I'm looking at on a high time frame. I don't think I showed this. I wasn't streaming last week, so something I marked up. This was like locally. And ultimately what I would like to see, kind of, if Dixie is going to come back down here, is to kind of see this pop back up, take a lot of these highs. They're very low resistance. Like probably this is like the only one that you really have to worry about. But you do have this imbalance here, so I would want to see that. Let's see. We did tap into it like on the daily just a little bit, but we also have these volume imbalances above, or your daily opening gaps or whatever. There's a lower one down here and here. But if you do get back up in here, I'd be looking for that to potentially get filled, and I think that could provide a good opportunity to look for shorts down here. So I'm ultimately, again, would be scouting for longs during New York Open. I think that'll provide a good type of play. If you're given the PA, we are holding this low here. I probably wouldn't want to see it come down too much lower, because then ultimately you're going to like another $50, and at that point you would want to position for shorts. So yeah, the only thing is like I got burnt I think it was 2 weeks ago. I was trying to long like here, and I got crushed one day. I think I was playing it like a harmonic, and it just wrecked me. So I think not gonna have that happen again twice. I will wait for like some nice confirmation, or at least like a shift in structure here to look for them longs for higher levels. But yeah, I am bullish on most assets right now, though I do think this still has quite a bit to go before we see really higher prices again. So yeah, that's pretty much everything we typically run through. I'll once again like ask if anybody has any sort of like requests that they would like checked out. If not, we can just kind of chill on Euro for a bit. I'll chill in the chat. We did also, there was imbalances below there. What time frame was this? Or no, out in the 3 minute, that's why. Cool. There, let's take that off before I jinx it. There we go. X marks the spot. But yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything, happy to drop whatever knowledge or stuff I can share. Can also look at, I actually do want to look at gold and a inverse ETF of S&P for a potential long on that when ES tops out for a little. So we didn't get what I was... This thing actually rallied off where I thought we were going to go down. Interesting. I think this... Where would I want to get interested in this? The thing is, like, I wouldn't just buy this and then sell it, like, the next day or something. I'd probably hold this for a couple weeks. Like, I'd want to play it like a swing. So I guess I'd want to look at the weekly. I do kind of like the fact that we gapped up here, but maybe come back down and close it. So I think I'd want to either see shift in structure here to then look to get long, or I'd want to wait for the low to get swept and then look to long it. Tesla, yes. Good request. I do like Tesla because of that massive shark on the weekly. Because you still have... This is when I used to like do my fair value gaps as like full blue things. This is like a volume imbalance on the... Or a gap on the weekly. Not volume imbalance. Volume imbalance is something different. Put in new higher high. It's true, but I heard a bell. Yeah, no, that wasn't the good bell. No, well, good thing I didn't take it. Just paper. But yeah, I mean, but that is typically the setup I would look for. I guess the one thing here is you did take the liquidity already from here, and like that probably should have been inclination that you're gonna go down, but it's all right. Back to what were we looking at before? Oh, Tesla. Yeah, no, definitely put in the higher high. I think if we are gonna get like a proper recession, I still think this is gonna go lower. And I think 69 is gonna be the level to buy at, because it's right at the PCZ. You're under the volume imbalance, so you close that, and then from there you also kind of have this like high time frame like demand area. So that's like a lot of confluence for me. I don't think you will get below $20. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I could again be totally wrong, but $20 to me is like a pipe dream, because if it goes below 20, it's not something I would probably want to buy, because that like here like that's like a huge shift in like structure, because at least from here it's like a wave where you're like pushing down, and then like as long as you don't break that low where you had the initial wave from, like it's still bullish, but you close below it, there's a lot of problems in my opinion for that. So yeah, I think 69 is like a great level where I'll probably buy some for long term, because the return on that could be massive. So yeah, we'll end it there with Tesla. Hope you all had a wonderful stream. As always, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, and if you're looking for a amazing trading community, Chroma Trading is the place to be. Have a good night, peeps.